Okay, so now we are live for another money-making workshop here at AGM Marketing. Welcome everybody to our headquarters of AGM. I want to thank you guys for being here. I got a special treat for you today. Today we have one of my favorite people in the world. I am a marketer, so I get obsessed over people and their incredible marketing minds. And this individual that's with us today, he's one of the people that I admire the most in the world of marketing. Somebody that has helped us out a lot at AGM Marketing and also has helped out my e-commerce brand, Natural Slim. Are we all good, Jimmy? Yeah. Okay. So this guy, we can be talking about what he's done for a long time, but he's one of the top marketers in the world, especially when it comes to Facebook advertising. He knows his game more than anybody else out there. He has spent historically hundreds of thousands of dollars a day on Facebook advertising. He has created several 7- and 8-figure brands, and he has been able to help brands scale systematically using the platforms that we get to use every day, like Facebook and Instagram. So it's a pleasure, it's an honor to have him here with us today. He's going to be talking about millionaire ads that work. Without further ado, Mr. Rudy Mawer.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, hey guys, good to be here. Good to see you. Obviously, know a few of you. Thanks for coming. And obviously, you guys virtually, great to connect. And yeah, I hope you're going to enjoy the next hour. So what I'm going to teach on, as mentioned a little, is how we approach Facebook ads, right? And what I'm going to teach today is a fundamental of business that pretty much every single billion-dollar company in the world has mastered, okay? But it's an aspect of business that even though pretty much every billion-dollar company in the world does and masters and focuses on, is a part of business that most small businesses never manage to do, never focus on, never understand. And what that results in is what? Them staying a small business and a billion-dollar company continuing to grow. And it took me 7 or 8 years to understand this concept. And during that period of time, I lost millions, if not tens of millions of dollars because I didn't understand this concept, okay? And as soon as I understood this concept, which I learned from some mentors and friends that had built $100 million companies, one friend built $320 million company, they kind of taught me this and made me focus on this as an entrepreneur. It helped my business drastically grow, okay? And a lot of people ask me, Rudy, what's the secret to Facebook ads? What's the secret to Google ads? What's the secret to getting customers? And 90% of the time, the secret isn't inside the ad manager, right? So if you guys watching here, virtually or here today, if you've ever run ads and you wondered why your ads aren't working, there's a lot of reasons, okay? But one of the biggest reasons is your entire business and ecosystem isn't even set up to run ads successfully, which means you're turning up to a race without the running shoes, okay? And you're also starting, 100 yards behind the rest of the athletes, okay? And then you're wondering why you never can win the race or stay competitive in the race, okay? So what I'm teaching you guys today is a fundamental concept, whether you you're running ads right now, you plan to run ads, or you're maybe never gonna run ads. It's gonna be something that if you actually do correctly will drive revenue into your business, okay? And yeah, like I said, it's something that pretty much every billion-dollar company out there does very well. And as a consumer, every one of you in this room have been a part of this through the brands that you support, the brands that you buy at, okay? And it's something that maybe until today you haven't really focused on properly in your business, okay? So, I titled it, How We Successfully Scale 9-Figure Plus Companies, okay? And there's a few key variables. And ultimately, when you get these key variables correct, it makes running Facebook ads easy. Okay, it makes running Facebook ads or Google ads, it makes running those ads way easier. Okay, but what I'm going to teach you today is nothing inside the ad manager. So you see the difference there? It's going to make everything you do from a customer acquisition, i.e. running ads, easier, but it's nothing to do with the ad manager, okay? So, quick bio, obviously I got a little introduction. I've learned this through trial and error. I've learned this through doing, and I've learned this through mentors that have built $100, $300 million companies, okay? And then I studied this through billion-dollar firms. But, you know, I've applied it to my own companies. So I built 4 multi-million-dollar companies and then went on to build an 8-figure company by 30. And a lot of it was two things. It was the ability to drive traffic and run ads, and the ability to make more money for every single customer that came in the front door. So just one thing that you'll see by the end of today is half the battle is acquiring customers, right? So who here today struggles to acquire new customers consistently every single hour of every single day? Okay, half the battle, right? But imagine if you made 10 times the money for every single customer that you had right now. So think about your revenue over the last year. Okay, maybe it was 50K, 100K, 200K, $500,000, $1 million, 5 million, 10 million, and then add a 0 to that. Is that a nicer figure? For no extra money on ads. Because what it means is you're adding more revenue to every single customer that you already have paid to acquire. You've paid whatever you do, Facebook ads, Google ads, billboards, everything like that, okay? So that's what I'm going to share, okay? As mentioned, I've been doing this for over 10 years, generated way over 100 million at this point, became, you know, fortunate enough to partner with some big entrepreneurs and business owners. The last couple of years, I saw a lot of this in action when I was CEO and head of marketing for 9-figure companies, okay? And then, as mentioned, I've been fortunate enough to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a day on Facebook, okay? And I'm not saying that to brag. The point of being able to spend that much money is I get the data, okay? I get to see all that data, okay? It's like working in any industry for 20 years. And if you get to work in the top of that industry and you get to see all the best people in that industry and what they're doing, that's kind of like Facebook ads, right? Being able to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a day through my own businesses, businesses I co-own, businesses I run, I get to see what's working and what's not working, okay? So, what we'll cover, okay? 5 or 6 things. So, first thing, to make any type of Facebook ad or advertisement you ever do, whether you're putting a billboard up, radio ads, TV ads, Google ads, a social media post, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Instagram ads, you need a ridiculously irresistible offer, okay? What that does is, what? Catches people's attention, okay? You get about half a second when someone sees an ad, you get half a second to make them stop. Most business owners, 99% of business owners, probably a lot of you in the room today, haven't even crafted an irresistible offer that's going to make people stop in half a second, okay? And what that means is you're running ads, but you're set up to fail. Like I said, you're trying to run a race without running shoes, starting 100 yards behind everyone else, okay? Who wants to spend their money knowing that they're set up to fail, okay? So one key to fix that is having an irresistible offer where people stop and they want to click. They stop and they're excited to click, okay? Next is once you get the click, what do you then have to do successfully? You have to convert them, right? You have to take them through a buying journey, okay? And in real life, this is very easy to understand. If you walk into a clothes store and they have no clothes on the rack, how much money are you going to spend there? 0. If you walk into a restaurant and there's rats on the floor and there's no good food on the menu and the plates are dirty, how much are you going to spend? But that's everyone's website I see that's trying to run ads. And then they wonder why their ads don't work. And they lost money. It's obvious in real life. It's not so obvious online. And people haven't learned that, right? But if you went into any of those 2 establishments I just gave you, and they were trying to run Facebook ads, and they asked you why they weren't working, and you were like, well, I'm sending you customers every day, but you're not making any money. And they're like, yeah, I don't get it. It's because they're not set up for success. It doesn't matter how many customers you put through the front door. Same with your online business, okay? After that, what is key? Well, let's use the restaurant and the clothing store analogy. Imagine you come in, you fix the restaurant, you fix the clothes store, you put beautiful clothes around, you put great customer service, put display racks, changing rooms, you come into the restaurant, you hire a world-class chef, you clean it up, make it really pretty and hygiene, you know, great hygiene, world-class menu, world-class food, they're going to start converting, start making money from the traffic, right? But then what happens if the customers never come back ever again? Okay? Becomes what? A constant battle to make money and survive in business. It's what a lot of you probably feel right now. Constant battle. If you turned off the advertisements or you walked away as the CEO or the owner of the company, how long would your company last? How long would your company maintain current revenue? Would your company grow? Very few of you wouldn't grow. Some of you might maintain for a little bit and then drop, but a lot of people would just drop right away, okay? Because a big part of it is having that repeat customer base, okay? And sadly, repeat customers consistently, they don't come in because you offered a great service. A small percent will. But to get a lot of repeat customers, just like anything else in business, you need what? A system. Repeatable, scalable system to get those customers back, okay? After you've got those three things right, you need to do what? Be able to track the success of it. You need to know what? How much money did I spend? How much money did I make? How many customers came back? Okay, you need to track everything. And then finally, you've got to scale it. Well, now my restaurant's full, it's doing well, so a lot of the customers come back because they love the experience, okay? I know my metrics, I'm spending 20 grand a month on ads, I make 200 grand a month back, the restaurant's capped. What do I need to do now? How do I scale? I got to open a new location, okay? Scalable traffic. You've got to build a business that can actually scale. A lot of solopreneurs make a lot of money, but they come on, you know, my calls, my coaching, like, Rudy, I make 200 grand a year, but I can't get past me. I can't hire a team, I can't scale, I can't grow past that, okay? So first one, we'll dive a bit deeper in each. First one, ridiculously irresistible offer, okay? Most people get mistaken because they sell their product, okay? You go, Rudy, what do you mean? Of course I sell my product, okay? But customers don't wake up every single morning and say, I really want to buy this product. People wake up every single morning with desires and pains and goals. Okay, so they don't care about your product. People, when you're advertising that don't know your company, care about one thing. Themselves. Themselves. They don't care how great your product is. They don't care you spent 3 years developing it. They don't care about...
Mountains it was developed, right?
Yeah, they don't care about any of that. They care about what can that product do for me. That's all they care about. But 99% of businesses don't advertise to that. Or if they do, it's halfway down the page in a small bullet, okay? So you've got to sell an offer that can change someone's life, or make someone's life better, or remove someone from pain. They're the three things you've got to do. One of three, or if you can, all three, okay? That's what people care about, and that's what people will click on. Now, of course, your best friend and your mom and your brother care about your product, because they know you, they love you, right? And they're so proud of you. But someone on Facebook ads that has no clue who you are and thinks you're a scam does not care about your product or your story. They care about what can it do for me. If I'm going to click this ad and buy this random product, do I believe that it can help me in some way or shape or form, right? Can it make me lose weight quicker? Can it help save time? Can it help grow my business? Can it make my life more comfortable? Okay? That's what people on Facebook and when you're advertising really care about. So how do you create this for your product? Okay? First thing you need is a unique selling point. What makes your product, your business, your offer unique? Okay? I always say with my one-on-one clients, I ask them what they do. They tell me in about 5 minutes. And I say, great, now tell me in 2 sentences. And they go, oh, that's why I hired you. Can't do that. No one has 5 minutes on a Facebook ad. No one cares. No one's going to stay and read 5 minutes except your mom, your brother, and your friend. Okay? You need a unique selling point. Okay? And the way you create a unique selling point is this. Okay? What you do well. Okay? And then you avoid stuff that's irrelevant. Okay? This is a this is a complex subject for a lot of people because what you guys believe you do well or your product does well doesn't always relate to what the customer wants and needs and cares about. Okay, it's the first thing to watch out for. Second thing, okay, is if you do something well, but 1,000 other companies do it just as well, and they advertise just like you do and they cost the same or even less, it's not unique, right? It's not unique. So what you need to do, right, is figure out what you do well, what the gap is that other companies similar to you aren't advertising or promoting or pushing. You need to do this very important point that most people forget about, which is what your customer actually cares about, not what you care about or what you think they care about. You've got to do market research, avatar research, and figure out what your customers actually care about. And then you combine what you do well, what your customers care about, and what your competition isn't focused on, and you create a sweet spot. Okay, and that becomes your unique selling point. Okay, gives you that differentiator in the marketplace to promote and push. Okay, so once you've got that, you can it'll help you craft what I call a ridiculously irresistible offer. Okay, so here's a few key components. Okay, you need the unique selling point. You need to know, if I deliver this product or service, how will it change someone's life? Okay? Most people confuse deliverables for what? You get this, 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 you get this. You get an instruction manual, you get batteries, you get whatever. No one cares, right? They care about how can it change their life. What are the deliverables to change someone's life? Okay? And then that comes to the next point, the outcomes and results, okay? Not the benefits about this was sourced in this place and it has this type of engine in it, okay? How many people that buy a Lamborghini know every single thing about Lamborghini? Why do they buy a Lamborghini? They wake up at 6 a.m. and say, I really want this type of engine that does this and then it does this and has this pollution rating and it does all this. No. Very few people know about that, okay? There are, of course, a part of the subset of the avatar that are car fanatics that know about that, okay? Big percent of people that buy a Lamborghini or an exotic car buy it for what? The outcomes, the results, how they'll feel, how they'll look, how other people will perceive them, the sense of achievement they have from driving a Lamborghini, okay? Next is price, okay? Price in terms of payment, okay? Is the price suitable for what you're selling and who you're selling to, okay? Price should change depending on how you sell and who you sell to, okay? Someone that's followed you for 5 years, that you've had on a live event, and then they had a sales call, and then they came on a 2-day trip with you, is probably ready to pay more money than someone that met you on a Facebook ad 20 minutes ago, okay? So what you're doing right now and may be successful in, okay, when you sell to your warm followers, people that know, like, and trust you, and then you try and repeat that to cold traffic and then wonder why it doesn't work, it's because you're not changing the way you sell based on the avatar, okay? For example, you might need a terms of payment. Say you have a 10K offer, 10K coaching program. Someone that's followed you for 4 years and they watch you every day on social media and they've come to 2 of your events might be ready to pay 10K to you when you tell them about it. Someone that watched a 2-minute video on Facebook ad, clicked the link, filled in their email and form, and then got a call from your sales team, might want to join, but they're not ready to send you 10K. But maybe they're ready to pay you $1,000 a month and pay $1,000 today to commit to trying it, okay? Easier to sell. So you have to, again, adapt what you sell maybe to the way you're selling, okay? Next to the bonuses, okay? Selling online, one tip and one trick is having bonuses and guarantees that make people want to buy. So I always teach you should have a bonus or bonuses so strong that customers email you and say, how do I get the bonus? That's the main reason I bought this today, okay? When you start getting those emails, you know you got a strong bonus. I genuinely get emails like that, okay? Next is the guarantee, okay? First thing is you should have a guarantee. You need a guarantee, okay? Maybe you haven't needed a guarantee when you've been selling whatever you sell to people that know, like, and trust you over the years. People local to you, people that have followed you, blah, blah, blah. Now you're selling to strangers. They need a guarantee, okay? They need a guarantee to move forward because they don't have that level of trust yet. Now here's the catch with guarantees. Every business owner makes a guarantee based on what? What they can offer that makes them feel good about it, okay, as an owner, a business owner. If you're making a guarantee where you feel safe, you're probably not letting the customer feel safe, which is the whole point of a guarantee. So I always teach, make a guarantee so strong that you're nervous to offer it as the business owner. Because when you're nervous to offer it, what does the customer feel? Safe, which is the whole point of a guarantee. Especially when they have low trust, which is what happens when they come from a Facebook ad and they don't know you, okay? And then the last stage is urgency. Your friend that wanted to join the 10K program that you met for a coffee and told about, you don't need to say to him, hey buddy, you got to sign up right now at the coffee shop. If you walk out that door, it's gone forever and you're going to have to pay more and you might never get a slot. Because if he has to go think about it and talk to his wife, you know you're going to see him at golf next week. But when it was a Facebook ad and they booked a sales call, they don't know who you are, they clicked an ad, you hit them at the right time, they got on a call. If they tell you they'll see you next week and think about it, you think they're ever going to come back? No, 90% never come back from a Facebook ad. So you need more urgency to push the buying decision right away, or you lose 90% of people. Again, you got to change the way you advertise. What works over here doesn't work over here, okay? So we talked about this a little, right? Remember I used the restaurant and the clothing store analogy? Every single one of you needs a different way to sell online. Just like every single local business's store looks a little different. A restaurant versus a clothing store versus a hardware store versus a car garage, they all look a little different, right? So it's the same online. When you're starting to sell, you have to create the right sales process, or what some people call sales funnel, for what you're selling, how you're selling, and who you're selling to. Okay? Make sense? If I put a bunch of clothes in a restaurant store, and made it a clothing store, do you think it would do as well? If they had to walk around tables and there was no dressing rooms, we're like, sorry, you can go in the restroom and change though. There's or the kitchen, if you want to go in the kitchen with the chefs, they're cooking, but you can change in the freezer part, that's fine. Doesn't work, right? It's what people do every day with their funnels and their websites. Try and fit a square in a circle, they spend $2,000 on ads, then they hire an agency, pay the agency $3,000, then they do that 5 more times and eventually ring me and say, Rudy, I've tried ads for years and nothing's working. Okay? Because this whole time, they've been running their restaurant, they've been running their clothing store out the restaurant. They wondered why it didn't work, okay? So you've got to figure out the exact way to sell based on the industry you're in, the price point, what you're selling, who you're selling to, how you're selling it, okay? And I could teach on that for 2 hours, so this is a bit more big picture today, but you've got to understand that, okay? Next is you've got to change the way you look at business. Okay, this is where I'm going to get into the part about billion-dollar firms and how they run businesses, okay? Most people focus on day one revenue, okay? Most people focus on how much did I spend and how much did I make today, okay? How much did I spend, how much did I make today? A strong back end, which means where customers buy again and again and again and again, is how you grow a real business, okay? And it lets you spend more money on acquiring the customer in the first place, okay? So who here sells a $100 product or less? Anyone? Okay, a couple of you. So if you sell a $100 product or less, okay, what's the price point? If I can pick either of you out.
27,
okay.
47.
So 47, go with that, right? Price point? $100. So everyone else answer this question. How much would you pay on a Facebook ad to sell a $47 or $49 product? $10, $20, $30, $50, right? Sure, $100. How much? Who here would spend more than $100 to sell a $100 product? A couple of you, right? Most people won't. So if you sell a $100 product, Most people only spend $50 to make that sale because they need profit, they have cost of goods, and they say, well, Rudy, I got to pay my staff, I got all my expenses, I got, I got cost of goods, I got deliverables. Yeah. So the billion-dollar companies don't operate like this, okay? And I'm going to show you in a minute, okay? Most big companies and most nine-figure companies, they go in the red to acquire a customer, which means they'll spend more money than the initial purchase. But 99% of small businesses do the opposite. They want to sell the $100 product for $20 and make $80 profit, okay? So you have to change the way you see the business model working. You have to rely on the back-end profits to make you the money, and the front end is just to acquire the lead or the customer, and that's all it should be doing, okay? Now, if you make money on day one and you're scaled, right, you're selling thousands or hundreds, then bonus points, great, right? We're all about free money. But I would always sooner run a business where I get 500 customers a day and make zero money than a business where I get $30 a day and make $2,000. Because the business that gets 500 customers a day, as long as it's ran right, will be 10 times bigger or 100 times bigger than that other company within a couple of years, okay? And like I said, billion-dollar brands do this. They've been doing it well. So put your hand up if you've ever bought an Apple product. All the way up, nice and high, keep it up. Now take your hand down if you only ever bought one Apple product in your life. You never bought Apple Music, you never bought insurance, you never upgraded your phone, you never bought AirPods, you never bought a new charging cable. Okay, take your hands down. So you guys have all been playing this game as a consumer for many years. If Apple sells a $50 or a $500 product, okay, how much will Apple pay to acquire the customer? Have a think, write it down. Take out your phone, go into your notes, or get pen and paper. How much do you think you will spend at Apple over your lifetime? Have a think.
A lot more.
Okay, now, how much would you pay to acquire a customer knowing that number? It would look a lot different than if I asked you that question 5 minutes ago, right? You see, the value is in the lifetime. It's in the lifetime buyer. It's in the back end. It's not in the first sale. If Apple was trying to make a 10 times ROAS on day one and sell an iPhone for $1,000 and only pay $100, wouldn't be in business right now because it wouldn't be able to scale and acquire a customer, because guess what would happen? Samsung or Android would come along and pay $400 to make that sale. And they would have 8 times more budget to acquire their customers. And they would outbid Apple, okay? What about this company? Put your hand up if you've ever used Netflix or Amazon Prime. Okay, take your hand down if you've only ever used it for 1 month and you canceled it and never joined again. Okay, the average customer stays 25 months or more in Netflix. So if Netflix is selling an $11 standard subscription, would it pay $11 to acquire the customer? $5? Or any more than that, they're losing money. You see, Netflix could pay a whole lot more. Okay, final lesson. This was the hardest. I had to go on a lot of cruise ships and do a lot of market research to share this with you today. It was a painful process. It cost me a lot of money. And I had to visit a lot of Caribbean islands, okay? But I did it to share this. It's a 7-night cruise, right? $470. Okay, you go to 4 or 5 Caribbean islands, you get all your food, you get your hotel, okay? If you go and stay on Clearwater Beach, you pay $300 a night just for the hotel. No food, no travel. So this is an irresistible offer if you're looking for a cheap vacation, okay? But what happens, okay? Who's been on a cruise before? A few of us, right? So I realized this the first time I went on a cruise, new immigrant to the US, never been on a cruise, moved to Florida, where it said, $400, I'm a student, let's go on a cruise, okay? Then you realize you get a box room that's like the storage cupboard, right, in the middle, because you don't upgrade. So then you have to upgrade, okay, and that doubles the cost for 2 of you. It's $200 each or something to get a window. So it's double the price of the cruise if you want a balcony, okay? And then you have to change your floor, right? Because if you ever go with your spouse, for some reason, wherever you're like selected, they say, oh, I feel sick on that side. You got to move me here. Or I got to go up a level or down a level, okay? Just randomly, you always have to move location. And then, of course, you have to add Wi-Fi, right? Entrepreneurs. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, you have to add Wi-Fi to do all the cool photos to make your coworkers jealous, right? So everyone does Wi-Fi. Then obviously a lot of people drink on them and pay the big drink packages. And then after 4 nights at the buffet, you realize you want to go to a different place and you pay to go into one of the specialty restaurants. Then here's where they really get you, okay? If you've ever been on a cruise, you realize 90% of the time they pull up to part of the island where there's no civilization and it's just gates and shops where they get a revenue cutback of the shops. And if you leave the gates or the compound, there's like pirates outside. So you have 2 options. You go spend money in their shops, okay, or you go on their excursions that they mark up 500%, right? So 2 options, okay? And then, of course, they prime you for the photo package from the minute you step on the cruise. What's the first thing they do? Say, hey, put your head in this ring, you know, let's get a photo outside the ship. And then they have this special what? Who do you get to meet and get a photo with? The captain. Okay, so you got to get that photo. And then they have a special what? Dress-up night. So we get nice photos. Okay, so they're priming you the whole time to buy the photo package, okay? And then obviously they have days at sea where they do big special deals, right? Come to the jewelry stores right now, flash sale. Okay, you're bored on the ship all day, you go spend money there. And then on the last day, or the last but one day, when most people, we're entrepreneurs, so a little different, most people have got what? Holiday blues. They're about to go back to the job they hate. And they say, it's okay, come book your next cruise. Your next cruise isn't too far away. Save 50% off your next cruise. Okay, because they know if you book now, they probably convert about 5 to 10 times higher of getting you back on than if they try and sell you another cruise after you leave the cruise. Okay, so they're already selling you on the next cruise. And then who here has ever been on more than one cruise? Okay, a few of you, right? So you return, and over a lifetime, you've spent, you know, maybe $5,000 on the first cruise for 2 of you, and then maybe another, you know, $5,000 if you go 3 more times. You've spent 20 grand. But you thought it was $473. Okay, so what would Royal Caribbean pay to acquire a customer? $473, $100, $50? You guys get it, right? Billion-dollar companies. You've been playing this game for a long time. So now I want you to imagine, like we started, take your products, okay? $50, $100, some of you $200, $500. Now add a 0. And then imagine every sale that you've made in the last 12 months had an extra 0 on the end of it. How much bigger would your company be? A lot, right? A lot bigger. Because most businesses are doing the hard work every day of what? Generating new business. But then they forget about where all the money is made, which is making more money from those customers, because they're so focused on the front end, generating new customers. Okay? So here's an example. This is just for illustrative purposes of, we might sell one, what we call in my space, low-ticket offer, okay, something $100 or less. But what I want to demonstrate is the revenue makeup. So we acquire a new customer here, $1 million in revenue, okay? Say this is over a 3-month window, 4-month window. And then look at everything that branches off from that initial sale. Okay, all the different ways that that initial customer comes in and comes through our ecosystem, okay? It's a bit like what? Apple selling an iPhone. Then you got your AirPods, you got your MacBook, you got your insurance, you got your cables, your wires, iPads. You guys get the idea? It's a bit like what? Royal Caribbean, $473. You got your photo package, your excursions, rebooking your next cruise, food, the shops on board. You guys get the idea. Create an ecosystem where you make more money for every customer. Okay? So now the next bit becomes how well do you track this? How well do you know this? Okay? Because if we look back here, if I was running the marketing for Royal Caribbean, I would know every single stat here. And I would know every single customer that came in, and I would know the revenue made per customer over 5 or 10 years. And then I would say, hey, we make $10,000 for every customer that comes in over 10 years, okay? And then I would say, I think we can spend easily $1,000 or $2,000 on a Facebook ad to make a sale, because the graphs here show that we make 10 grand back over time, okay? So even if we, sell a $500 cruise to a couple, $1,000, right? I would happily pay $1,000 to make that sale and break even, because I know for the rest of the life, on average, I make $9,000 in profit, okay? Most companies don't know those figures. They don't think like that. They don't operate like that, okay? So a big part of doing this is being able to track it, okay? I always say, if you can't measure it, you can't market it, okay? So imagine you're the CEO of Royal Caribbean. If you sell a $500 cruise and your head of marketing comes in and says, I want to spend $1,000 to make a $500 sale, and the CEO has zero clue about any of this marketing stuff and lifetime value, he's going to fire the guy, say, you're crazy, you're going to make me bankrupt. Can't pay double to make a sale. We need to, we can spend $100 max. We need some profit. We got to pay the staff, all the food. Running a cruise costs a lot of money, right? But then if the CEO understood this and the marketing team had all the data and proved, hey, we spend, as little as we can, but we could go up to $1,000. Of course, if we get $100, $200 sales, that's great. But we could go up to $1,000 because we make $10,000 on average back. The CEO can go, that's great. Sounds great to me. I 10x my money on ads over time. Okay? It's great. But you couldn't make that decision as a CEO, whether you're a billion-dollar CEO or an independent business owner. You can't make that decision until you can track it. Okay? So you have to be able to track this. Okay? And then once you know how to track it, it doesn't matter if Facebook ad costs go up, if it costs more to advertise on the billboards or on the radio or the podcast advertisement you're doing. It doesn't matter if inflation keeps rising, because you're making more money for every single customer, okay? And I always say, Disney has its fireworks. What do you guys have? What do you guys have to make your customers spend more money? The Disney fireworks. Who's ever been to Disney? Cool. Saw the fireworks show? Okay, every night of the year, right? So you think when they came up with the idea for the fireworks and they went to the executive team, they said, hey, we want to do fireworks every single night of the year. It's going to cost $30 million in fireworks, and we're going to have to build a team that runs fireworks every night of the year. Do you think the board and the executive team were like, that's such a great idea. Sounds amazing. $30 million, here's the check. Logistics, operations, health and safety, management, sounds easy. Fireworks every day of the year. No, that's a nightmare to run as a business. It's expensive. Okay, it's a 10-minute firework display. Disney has its fireworks to do what? To make customers stay till the end of the day. Because what happens when a customer stays till the end of the day? Spend more money in the park. Disney created its fireworks because it noticed a lot of customers were leaving at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Hot Florida sun, all these nice resorts with big pools, screaming babies and children. The families were like, let's go, it's hot. Go back to the hotel, we'll hang out by the pool, do a nice dinner. They were losing a lot of its customers, okay?
So it's not because it's the friendliest place on earth?
I don't want to say it.
Wow. That's just shocking. Shocking.
I can guarantee they didn't say let's spend millions of dollars on fireworks every month for the sake of it.
Kids dragging on the park, tired, dragging themselves because fireworks are only a few hours away.
A few hours away.
Brilliant.
So how do you kill time? Well, you get dinner in the park. You go shopping in the park. Funny how that works, right? Disney has its fireworks to make you spend more money. Apple does what? They randomly bring out a new iPhone every year. That's funny, right? That's funny. Cars do what? Bring out a new car every single year, okay? Every billion-dollar firm has a way to make you spend more money, and they're very good at it. And they have an entire team of psychologists and marketers that's all they do in that business. Facebook, as you well know, and big social platforms have an entire team. Their only goal is to make you do what? Spend more time on the platform, which does what? More advertising, which does what? More revenue per customer. You guys see? Every company does this. It's very hard to think of $1 billion firm where you only ever pay them one time. Very hard, okay? So this is how it looks, okay? This is a real-life graph in one of my businesses. This is day one or day zero, $40 for an initial sale, right? Great example for the low-ticket guys. Customer comes in, spends $40, $45. Then if we look across here, okay, all the different color lines are different types of products that people buy, okay? So just imagine it, easy way of imagining it, and there's people that buy charging cables. One color is an iPhone, one color is an iPad, one color is a MacBook, right? You get the idea. Because one important thing that's a little more advanced is you also want to know what products you sell that create the best customers, that spend the most, right? So as you can see over time, okay, our customers spend more. So by day 30, if you look, most customers are spending more than double, okay? This one here, $80, worth $170. This yellow line here, 45, day 30, it's worth about $100, okay? So we know if we're running Facebook ads, we can easily spend $50 to make a sale that costs $45. Because within 30 days, we doubled our money. Who here wants to double their money in 30 days? There's not many investment options that do that right now. And you get a customer in your own business. Great way to spend and invest money, right? If you can build the system. Of course, it takes time. I'm not guaranteeing this same ROI for every single one of you. It's going to vary in all your businesses. But the goal is to build a system where you don't stop here. Most people watching this today, most people I work with, even companies doing 5 million, they make 90% of their money here, day zero. And they make 10% of their money here. Every big company makes 10 or 20% of their money here and 80% of their money here. Remember I said you got to change the way you look at your business? That's why.
Really about customer acquisition.
It's twofold, right? It's about acquiring the customers, but making way more money over a lifetime with those customers, which in turn does what? Makes customer acquisition way easier because you can pay way more. You can experiment more. You can hire more staff to work on it. You can advertise on more platforms. You can pay for more billboards or TV or Facebook or Google. So it's a revolving cycle, right? The more you make, the more you can put back in, which means the more you grow. It's just an ecosystem, okay?
Something that I can mention to that point, Rudy has been helping us with my brand, Natural Slim. We, on the first purchase, we get, using Facebook ads and Instagram ads, people buy on average $87. You got to measure that long-term journey of people. Those $87, because we have a lot of things on the back end built, a lot of text messaging systems, a lot of email communications, a lot of customer service, and getting people down a journey becomes $240 in 6 months. On average, we generate about 1,000 orders every single day. We pay probably about, in our case, it's not really an apples to apples, because we have a unique scenario in which we have incredible high quality content, which, as Rudy knows, it's not that easy for any brand to get to that point of, like, my father was an incredible content creator. We get still today 70 million views a month on our content. So it's a little bit easier to get somebody to trust us. If you don't have that incredible content that it's influencing so many people, then you have to have even more attention to building a system like that that is measurable, scalable, and then you really understand your numbers. So you're not really just trying to profit on that front end, because it's not going to happen. People that come to us here at AGM and they say, I need you to promise me free ROI in the next 3 months. I'm going to say, you came to the wrong place. This is not where we can help you, because that's not the journey that really makes sense for 99% of us that are building a brand. You got to break even or even lose money on that front end, just like Rudy's describing here.
Well, and the point though is you say, roughly you said $60 sale, you make $250, right? Rough maths. Most companies, if you sell a product for $60, I'll ask them as like an agency owner or marketer, how much can you pay the customer? Well, my cost of goods $20 and I want to make at least $10 or $20 profit, so I could pay $20 to make a $60 sale, right? Makes sense logically until you learn this stuff, right? I thought that for many years. But then if you know the back part of the story and that you make $250 within 6 months, it's a different conversation, right? It's a different way of asking the question. Because I'm sure most of you here would happily spend $60 to make $250 back over 6 months.
So in our case, we have a high 8-figure a year brand. We spend about $35 to get somebody to purchase from us for the first time ever, and $80-something they invest. So 2 to 3 ROI, return on investment, right? It's not normal. And that's because we have this incredible content. If you take away our content, you got to be willing to do that one-to-one. Put $100 and get $100 in sales. We're fortunate that we had this unicorn creating content that really penetrated the world. And our content goes viral.
It's 20 years of growing a brand, or however long.
2007 is when we created the brand. So it's 15, 16 years of understanding the market and getting ourselves in front of people. So the free ROI after 15 years.
If you wait 16 years, you can make profit on day one. So it's up to you, right?
Right.
Or you can do this and make no profit on day one, but make it over time right away, okay? So I always ask people, how well do you know your LTV? How well do you guys know your data? Okay, because you can't do any of this. You can't make the right purchase decision, the right marketing, the right advertising decision unless you know your data. So who here thinks they know their LTV? Few of us? Okay, so we'll run a little exercise. So everyone stand up, and if someone's left standing, I'll give you $100. So this is me in the front in the red, right? And then you guys. So I'm going to ask you as we go through this to sit down when you kind of disqualify, okay? And I've done this presentation in rooms of thousands of people, a lot of 7, 8-figure business owners, and I don't think anyone's truly been left standing, so don't worry if you sit down fast, okay? So first question, this is the more simpler version of marketing that most of you should know. If you're running ads, how much do you pay to acquire a customer, okay? So say you're spending money on all your ads, you should know, well, Facebook, the average CPA is $60. Google, the average CPA is $90, okay? Most of you should know what you pay to acquire the customer, okay? After that, you should know what important metric. How much do you make back after day one? If you spend $60, do I make back $80, $90, okay? So you got to know that, okay? What about on day 7? How much have I made by day 7? Maybe per 100 customers, 20 of them upgraded to the premium package. And then they got my email follow-up and upgraded to something else, right? A membership. So that's day 7 LTV. So you should know by day 7, on average, I make this much. What about day 30? Okay, the longer it gets, remember that graph? It should continue to go up, okay? What about 6 months? Okay, you know your 6 months.
I know my 6 months. But that's it.
What about per channel? Because Google versus Facebook ads versus TikTok ads versus the affiliates you hire versus the Instagram influencers, they're all going to give you a different LTV. Okay, they're all going to change how well you know those customers. The real life example I give this is, what about the Apple store in Beverly Hills versus an Apple store in the middle of nowhere overseas in a 3rd or 2nd world country? How much do you think their customers change in lifetime value? Very different, right? You know, some of the Beverly Hills customers probably have 5 iPhones sat in their drawer, 8 MacBooks, 10 AirPods, because they lose them all the time like me, right? And 100 wires sat around. Their LTV is much higher. Someone else in a different country maybe saves up 4 years to buy one iPhone. And then they don't buy it every year, and they definitely don't have a MacBook or AirPods, right? So Apple as a company can't say, hey, we can spend $2,000 to make a customer sale. Because then the manager in this other country is like, hey guys, we can spend $2,000 to sell an iPhone. Apple's going to go bankrupt real quick in that country. But in Beverly Hills, that could be a great marketing decision because they make $30,000 per customer. So two grand's nothing. So you have to know it by channel as you get more advanced. And then what's the most advanced part? Well, it's all well and good knowing in Beverly Hills, we spend $2,000 to make the sale and we make 30 grand back over 10 years. But what you really want to know if you get really advanced, which Apple will know, is what are all the different products they're buying that take someone from 2 to 30K? Because then what do? They email those products out to their newsletter. They put those products at the front of the shop. When the sales consultants are working with a customer, there's like 50 different products to sell. How do they know what to say? They go, hey, do you see the new MacBooks that came out? Let me show you. How do they know that? Because they know what people buy that increases the lifetime value the most. Okay? And finally, if anyone's still standing, okay?
Only staff are standing.
Any staff. Can you come up here and show me this updated dynamically and live? Why is that important? Because buying decisions change every day. How you change your website changes every day. What if you remove a banner on the top page of your website that gave you a massive LTV boost and you didn't even know, and you were still spending hundreds of dollars in the red? 6 months later, you're like, I'm going back. There's no money in my account. I don't get it. I did the maths 2 years ago that I could spend this much and make this much. But then you made 100 different changes throughout those 2 years, and now you've changed something in the wrong direction. Who's ever made a bad marketing decision? Yeah. So you wouldn't want to do that if you were going in the red, right? You have to know this and track it as it changes. Because your business and your customers and your competition and the environment and inflation and the world crisis is ever changing, which changes buying behavior. Okay? So fun activity, but hopefully you guys see the brands with the highest lifetime value will always win because they can pay the most to acquire a customer. Who's going to win? Apple that can pay $2,000 to make a sale, or BlackBerry that can make $200? We know the answer. Okay? The brand that can pay the most to acquire the customer, that can spend the most on shops and stores and locations and sponsored celebrities, and the most on ads, they're going to stay alive, they're going to thrive, they're going to grow, they're going to get market domination, and they're going to put brands that don't get this out of business. Okay? It happens at the billion dollar level. It happens here today in Clearwater, or in Largo, and in St. Pete, and in Tampa. Okay? The brands that have the best presence and the most advertising will always win. Okay? So, if you can spend $100 to make a $100 sale, but over 4 months you make $400 back, okay? You're going to have a much more successful business. You guys all see that, right? If you made 400% more money on every single sale right now today in 4 months, your bank account would look a lot healthier. Your company would look a lot healthier. You'd be able to hire that employee that you've always wanted to hire, or add in that new product that you've always wanted to add, okay? So this isn't just about money. This is about fueling the expansion of your company, okay? So in one of my businesses, one of my better businesses where we've spent 3 years building this and obsessive over this, we make 10 times the ROAS after 30 days. After 6 months, we make 15 times ROI. So this allows me to do what? To pay more per customer, to spend more on ads, and to grow the company quicker. Okay?
Rudy, we got a good example of this over here in the crowd. This guy right here, Peter Erde, this guy. He's been a client of AGM for many years,
okay,
going back to doing courses of mine 5 years ago or something, or training. One time, I invested on a desk. This guy is a wood artist, all right? One time I said, can you build me a desk? So if anybody needs to get incredible pieces of art built, this is the guy. He's an artist, all right?
Oh, wait, how much would you guys all pay to acquire a customer for a desk? Let's shout numbers out.
It depends on the desk, right?
On this desk,
If you buy it on Costco or something, right? Or if you hire an artist.
On this desk, a nice desk, how much would you guys all pay? $100, $500, $1,000?
That goes back to the analysis of lifetime value of that.
Sure.
You might not want to know how much something like this
Let's
costs.
see, think of a
right?
number, think of a number.
You really got to look at that because that changes the mix totally.
That's what, yeah?
The market with essentially, especially one-time shop, unless you've got a niche market that likes high-end, like if you're, I'm sure you've done that analysis where you have certain customers that fall in love with this work, so your marketing is going to start targeting those customers that love this work, so you're going to look at marketing avenues to target those customers.
Sure,
that
yep.
increase that
Yep.
lifetime value.
So for the,
That's a transitory movement that you work hard to figure out.
you understood what he said?
Yeah.
So you can repeat it for the people in the audience because he didn't have a mic.
Okay, so the summary for the audience, if I understood you correctly, is, you know, we're talking about an analogy of selling a desk, right? I asked everyone how much would you pay to sell a desk? And what you're saying, if I understood you correctly, is eventually you've got to, learn how to sell more of those desks and build a business and a service to facilitate more lifetime value on customers, right? That's what I'm teaching here today, and I think is super key. And then also you've got to figure out how to target and find customers that are willing to spend more money, like being in Beverly Hills versus being somewhere else in the world. Is that correct? Anything you want to add? Good.
Yeah. So from one desk that he sold me, he had a relationship with me. He has been increasing my lifetime value consistently every year. So that desk inside, if anybody wants to see it, was built by him. This desk, if you go to my house, I have one big, incredible piece of art there. And then he just sold my wife on another desk. So that lifetime value, he didn't actually make a lot of money on the first one because he wanted to bring me in. He wanted to blow me away. He wanted to have this piece of art over here for a few reasons, so I can do this one day and talk about him, number one. And number two, because he wanted to impress me so I can keep on doing stuff with him. And it's magical. Like, he doesn't have to invest on marketing to me anymore. I'm going to keep on investing in him. Over the years, it keeps on climbing and climbing and climbing. So that's a great example. Again, this was not coordinated. I happened to see Peter over here, and I got inspired just based on Rudy's talk because he's gotten a lot of money from me over the last few years.
Yeah, and there's an element. I taught the marketing fundamentals. I could do another hour on the customer success side, right, of building this, because it's all great knowing the marketing, but you need a great product and service. You have to build great relationships with your customers and all that side of it too to make it successful, right? The marketing and the customer service and loyalty have to go hand in hand. But the point being here is, again, how many customers would you need to replace one Manuel? 10, 20, 50, right? Yeah, so what's easier? Having one great customer with a high LTV or you finding 20 different customers? You would choose this every time. And what you would really choose is 20 customers that do this, right? So you guys agree, lifetime value is key. You need to implement lifetime value into your business, and then that makes everything else you do easier, okay? And remember, just to recap, I'm about done now, to recap, if you're trying to run Facebook ads, you're trying to run marketing, you've got to have the restaurant built correctly, okay? Don't try and send customers into your restaurant when it's not built correctly, because you won't create a world-class experience. You won't get enough customers paying for food and then telling their friends about it and coming back to the restaurant every Friday, okay? But hopefully I've shown you guys how businesses are ran at a high level and hopefully changing your mindset to how you're going to run and scale your own business. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening.
All right. Rudy, you got 2 or 3 minutes for anybody has a couple of questions. We can take 2 or 3 questions. So if anybody has any question, raise your hand for Rudy. Anybody has any questions?
Just want to say thank you. Very nice presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, thank you for Rudy. Peter?
Do you need a desk?
Smart man right there.
Hey, do you make those chairs for that, match that desk now?
He makes everything. He does make everything. It's great. Okay, so no hands are raised, so that's good. That means that it was all clear. Want to thank Rudy again for being here with us tonight. Yeah, let's give him a big hand. And I want to thank you guys for coming. In all honesty, there's the quickest path to expansion is putting yourself in front of the right people and consistently learn and making yourself better. That was my path. I know that has been Rudy's path. We're always looking to make each other better. So good job for you guys being here and learning. If you guys want to follow Rudy, Rudy is always doing content. He's always teaching, and somebody that I really, really admire for you guys to learn some of his genius techniques in the world of marketing. So my final thing for you guys that are here, anybody here for the first time ever at AGM? Raise your hand. Oh, wow, a lot of you guys for the first time. That's great. So I'm the CEO, in case you wonder who is this guy talking next to Rudy. I'm the CEO of AGM. We are doing a contest in which we're giving away $10,000 of free marketing services. AGM Marketing is an Inc. 5000 marketing company. We're good at what we do, and we have certain skills in the area of marketing that we can help you guys execute on. So anybody wants to join this contest, it's $10,000 of our marketing services. All you got to do to opt in is go to agmagency.com/win10K. Anybody wants to, what we do here at AGM is that we help people spread their message. We're really good with helping somebody that has a message reach more people. We help people generate leads and more prospects. We help people scale their Amazon brands or e-commerce brands. So whatever it is that you need in the world of marketing, we are looking forward to getting a chance to helping you. Now, so that's the link if you guys want to register, agmagency.com/win10K. Ollie? Oh yeah, we got to do a selfie with Rudy. Very important. Again, just so you guys know, I spent many months trying to get Rudy with us today. He's a highly difficult, busy guy, all right? He's not difficult, he's actually an easy guy. He's a good friend of mine now, but difficult to get here, all right? So it's been a pleasure to have him. Rudy, let's do a quick selfie with the crew. Everybody, let's pretend that you were happy and you got a lot. Yay! All right, awesome. Okay, guys, so again, a big hands to Mr. Rudy for being here with us tonight. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Next Tuesday, we're going to have an Amazon expert here with us. His name is 𝗟𝗘𝗥𝗡. I think I have Aaron's dad over here, Pedro here. He always is, he's a local, but Aaron has done over $100 million in Amazon revenue. He's going to teach us some of the basics on Amazon. If you guys want to come Tuesday, same time. Right, Carly? Yeah. Tuesday, next Tuesday? All right, guys. Thank you for coming over here. See you next time. All right.